Reality is one. When you see it through a medium, the same reality looks different. Like the light which is without color, when it passes through a droplet of water, a rainbow can be seen. So, it won't be a mistake to say that the light is both colorless and colorful. Rainbow is formed and destroyed. Light is not formed and destroyed. Because of the presence of that drop of water at that time, at that place, a rainbow is formed. It is just seen, not even formed. It would be wrong to say that it is formed. It's not formed. It is seen. It appears. As soon as the rain stops, the rainbow is no longer seen. But whether there is a drop of water or not, if there is a rainbow or not, it doesn't affect light. It will be affected if the light thinks of it as a rainbow. The instrument through which the rainbow is seen will be destroyed. If there is no instrument, there won't be any rainbow either. If there are no eyes, how can this visible world be seen? If there are no ears to listen, there is no sound. What is self-knowledge? There is a light somewhere, which is not different than you. It is you yourself. This is self-knowledge. Why self-knowledge? So as to gain self-realization through which you can experience that light, else you will say it is just a belief. All scriptures say that there is definitely a reality somewhere. Different names have been given to it, but each one of them says that there is definitely something. On what basis have they said it? They would have experienced it. Hence, they have mentioned it. For the existence of any theory, there has to be one or the other experience essentially. Theories aren't made out of thin air. Someone would have definitely experienced something somewhere. The way of saying it is different for everyone. What is the traditional path? Knowledge is imparted to you. Things are taught to you about who you are. Why? So that there is self-realization in the end. How are self-realization and self-knowledge connected to each other? You saw an object, touched it. That touch, that realization of that thing being present there, that is an experience. And whatever is being talked about that touch in numerous books, that is knowledge. Both are different from each other. One is you are reading about a place. One is you are at that place. You have heard a lot. You have stayed in a tropical place since childhood. It is quite hot here. You have listened a lot about the cold. Stories about the cold. There is cold. You might say there is no cold. I have never experienced it. So what is this? Cold knowledge. You are being taught about cold. But even if you are taught about it for 50 years, it is not connected to cold realization at all. The only benefit which a cold knowledge can offer is that you may have cold realization. Else that knowledge is useless. It is meaningless. This is a mistake which people have committed in the past. They were worked up only with self-knowledge and books. They were trapped within the books, within the scriptures, and started imagining that they had self-realization. They had an experience of the soul, an experience of self-existence. They are imagining. This is not an imagination. It is a reality which can be experienced. Your experience is not a mere coincidence. Like, what is the formation of a rainbow? A coincidence. Because of the presence of that droplet at that place, a rainbow appears. The disappearance of the droplet leads to the disappearance of the rainbow. You are not a coincidence. This instrument which we call a body and this universe, these two are connected. These two can't be separated. Whenever I mention universe, it includes all the 5 elements including space. Where is space? In the body. Where is the body? In the space. Where is the experience of space without a body? How can the body exist without space? This is known as coexistence. Two things are together for a while. but you are not a coincidence. The problem right now is experiencer, experience, and experienced. We are confused at this point. We call this body an experiencer, whereas this body is inert. Experience can happen through it. That which is experiencing through this body is actually what real experience is. But at that point, this I, which we call I, there is no space for it. What mistake do people commit? This is my consciousness. How is it yours? They do not question. No one actually goes that further. They are limited to this. This is my body. If they go ahead and inquire a lot, then they say, I am not a body. I am soul. What do you mean by soul? You are holding on to the soul. Is it your soul? Is consciousness yours? What exists in this creation which is yours? Nothing. Everything is for the sake of it. For example, you say that this land is mine. As soon as you say it is yours, you start being sad or happy. This is where happiness and sorrow start. This is where the world starts. We start telling that this body is mine. Happiness and sorrow start. This is a huge error. If this error is observed silently and calmly, then you'll find yourself, but you won't find anything for you. There is no doubt that you exist, but nothing is yours. This means since it is not yours, it is of no one else either. If you don't have anything, no one else has anything either. If the consciousness isn't yours, it is of no one else either. There is consciousness. I am the consciousness. We are connected at that I am level. What mistake do people commit? I am seeing through this body, hence it is me. This is my consciousness. Now this body is about to die, hence my consciousness will also die. Or they imagine that their consciousness will leave this body and enter some other body. Both are mistakes. Is this consciousness mine? There is an experience because of the consciousness. Is that experience mine? When a sound passes through the ears, as soon as contact is there between me and that sound, an experience of that sound occurs. So what is mine out of these three? Is that sound mine? Can I own it? Can I say that that sound from wherever it is coming, mine? People will again make this mistake. If the sound is coming from his body, then it is mine. If it is coming from some other body, then it is not mine. Everything is a mistake. Sound is just sound. Where does me and you arise here? Sounds are formed and destroyed on their own. It can be generated through this body or through an animal or through some other person or through thunder from the clouds. Whichever way, sound is just sound. When two things collide, sound will be generated. It doesn't matter if two of my hands collide or one of my hands and one of yours collide. Just as the collision of two hands creates sound, similarly, when I speak, something is colliding within, because of which there is sound, and it is moving. It is traveling from high to low pressure. If I say that this sound is generated because of the collision of my two hands, then it is the sound of my claps. It is my sound. Now if one hand is yours and one is mine, what will you say? Is it the sound from my clap or not a sound from my clap? One hand is mine and the other is yours. Now you will say that this is the sound from our clap. It is a sound from my and your clap. What do we mean by that? This is also childish. Neither was that sound mine earlier, nor is that sound mine now. Sound is just sound. When sound has a contact with the consciousness, there is an experience. Experience happened and died. This is the story of experiences then, be it through the ears, through eyes, or through some impressions in the brain. Happened died. What was in between? A gap. But since it happens so swiftly, we are barely able to register those gaps. There are gaps which you can call as blackout, as it happens in deep sleep. If you are in a meditative state and sitting absolutely silently for few hours, you'll notice that the frequency of thoughts slows down gradually. At the start, there are many thoughts happening at a very fast pace like a video. After a while, the video stops and a thought comes, gets dissolved. Another thought comes, vanishes. There are only two things in this creation of which we can tell about their existence with confidence. One is the sound of silence, where there is no doubt if it exists or not. Second is a creation which is visible to us. Sound of silence doesn't change or get destroyed. It is not a thought. It is an experience. This is not some knowledge. It is a realization. It is an experience. This doesn't change. Everything else changes as per the instrument's capability, and the instrument itself is subject to change. Instrument is also not constant. So, the sound of silence is the only constant which exists, which we can call as constant. Everything else is changing. The instrument through which we are seeing is changing. You have eyes in good condition today, and if it gets damaged tomorrow, you'll start seeing something else. You might become colorblind. Some colors won't be visible to you then. For you, the world has changed. For others, it is something else. If you have bat eyes, the world is something else to you. You will start seeing in the dark. Dark means something where there is nothing. You'll start seeing something. So, if you understand this closely, what am I out of these three? Some experience happened and vanished. Is that me? That experience happened through this instrument. Is that me? Or am I the one who experienced? There should be no doubt that whoever had the experience, that is me. I can't put a question mark on it ever, because for the existence of thoughts, feelings, sensations, for the existence of anything, consciousness must be there. Even a robot can perform the action of talking. It can see and record it. It can act on the basis of that recording. It can function as per its programming. There is no difference between a body and a robot. The only difference that exists between the two is I can feel. I am conscious. If something touches me, I can feel it, isn't it? I can't doubt it because this is my experience. This point is also valid that I am not an object. Object means the entire universe. I am not even the instrument through which that feeling occurs, because that instrument is itself an object. Like I can see other things through this instrument. Similarly, I can see this instrument through this instrument itself. I am not even that memory which I called as I. I had this experience and I said, first I heard, then I saw, then I said. So I added up these three things, right? These three are different experiences. I added all of them. Like there are three different flowers which I plucked from different trees, combined them and made a garland. I am calling this garland as I. My I is based on this I, isn't it? How do you say that you first saw it, then you understood it? Seeing is a different experience. Understanding it means the name of what you saw. You are also seeing that name in your brain. It is a different experience. Whatever is already in your mind related to that name, you are also seeing that. You are skimming through it, but you are seeing it. These are different frames, different experiences. After seeing it, listening to it, I reacted. What I am doing is, by combining all these different experiences, I am creating unnecessary confusion for myself. But in reality, these experiences are not related to each other by miles. This sound and what I see, like this wall. How are these two connected? Is there a connection? No. So I am combining these experiences. And on what basis am I combining them? On the basis of memory. There was an experience which was recorded. If there is no experience, how will it be recorded? Whatever you have read, heard, understood until now, on what basis? What is its ground if it is not experience? There was an experience. A recording was done. The experience was recorded. Then there are different experiences. We think that we have the same experience. It can't be the same. It can be similar. It can't be the same because everything is changing. The instrument which you use and which you call the body, even that is changing quite rapidly. And what you see and call the world, even that is changing at a quick pace. So it can never be the same. It is impossible. It can be similar. So there were two different experiences. We recorded the experiences and added a name to it. This experience which happened is voice. What is it? We just added a name, isn't it? This was seen. What is it? It is an object. We are putting different experiences into different categories. This is taste. This is touch. This is a smell. This is sound. This is sight. We have fed this in the memory like creating different folders. We put them into these folders and are creating stories by combining them. We recorded different experiences. Consciousness isn't different. Consciousness isn't changing. Consciousness is there itself. It is ever ready. Let any object come. Let any experience occur. Let any experience go away. Consciousness is there itself. Objects are arriving and leaving. Because of the arrival of objects, experiences happen and disappear. Those experiences are being recorded, which we call as memory. And we are combining those different experiences and think of them as one. That recording is dead. Experience isn't dead. As these two hands rub against each other, the one who is experiencing this is alive. Hence, this experience is happening. Now this rubbing is stopped. Hands aren't rubbing against each other. Now I'm thinking about it. Those hands were rubbing against each other. It was feeling so good. If only it could happen again. What is this? I am thinking of such an experience which isn't happening right now. It is dead. Now they are rubbing again. And it is a new experience. Now what am I doing? I am combining both of them, although there is nothing between them to get combined. Like first I had some experience. Then I did not have any experience. Then there was an experience again. But when I did it again, it wasn't as enjoyable as it was the first time. First time was quite enjoyable. It did not feel as good as the second time. Not as fun. Let's try the third time. So first, second, third. What do we mean by that? And on what basis are you combining? On the basis of instrument. From the standpoint of the body, isn't it? I had this experience during my childhood. Then I had this experience. I am experiencing this in my old age. On what basis are you combining them? That which in itself is changing. Got it? If the body wasn't changing, if the instrument wasn't changing, and if you would combine on that basis, it would have still been logical. It has got no meaning. Like combining two dead bodies. That experience which a body had, that body has already died. It is already dead. Within a year, the entire organs of our body changes. There are different studies. Some say 5 years. Some say 8 years. Some say 10 years. Whatever. Let's assume that it changes in 10 years. The body you had 10 years ago is now dead. That body, which is dead, with what have you combined it? All those memories which are dead. This combining is possible due to whom? Me. So neither am I that dead body, nor Am I all those dead memories which happened through that body? So who am I? I am the one who has the experience at this moment, right here, right now, here and now, always here and now. I am that.